It's 8:30. Good morning. I'm Ian Crouch with Hunter News. Security at the Williamtown RAF base will be raised today to its highest level for many years in response to national concerns about possible terrorist attacks. Staff at the base have been told the alert level will be lifted from Bravo to Charlie, or level 2 to 3. Bravo involves possible threats, but the Charlie alert level is introduced when a terrorist attack is more likely. Williamtown base is playing a key role in the deployment of troops to the Middle East. It's also providing a Wedgetail early warning control aircraft. Newcastle City Council will this week renew calls for a better share of developer contributions from the controversial T4 coal loader project. A planning department decision means Port Waratah Coal Services will only be required to contribute $500,000 towards community infrastructure instead of the $4.8 million or 10% of the project's value. Greens councillor and state candidate for Newcastle, Michael Osborne, says council and the community deserve better.
It's been very clear that the state government has been imposing decisions on Newcastle rather than including people in that decision-making process. The Greens have a clear view that the community needs to be included in the decision-making process for any decisions that affect them. The Greens have a vision for clean jobs, clean air and clean politics.
Investigations are continuing into an overnight fire which destroyed a gatehouse at a Gateshead quarry. Firefighters from Charlestown and Tingera Heights were called to the Boral facility on Oakdale Road just before midnight to find the 8 by 8 metre gatehouse engulfed in flames. It's taken more than an hour to extinguish the fire, which is being treated as suspicious. The Greens are lobbying Australia's major parties to ensure the Hunter transitions to cope with China's changing energy policies. The Newcastle port will have to cope with an eventual loss of 1/4 of exports as the Asian superpower has committed to moving away from coal as an energy source. Green Senator Lee Rhiannon says a transition plan is vital, which will ensure there's jobs well into the future and there's no reliance on decreasing contracts with China for coal.
China's plan to move away from dirty coal is good news, and it's particularly good news for people's health and the environment. But we need to ensure that the growth of the Hunter is not jeopardised. The Coalition and Labor need to break their links with dirty coal and get behind a transition plan.
A report is recommending lowering speed limits in residential areas of Newcastle to 40 kilometres per hour. The council discussion paper says it would make it safer for cyclists and pedestrians, and it should be standard across all new housing estates. Meanwhile, the draft strategy has also set a target of boosting public transport use by 400% and to double the number of people cycling to work. Volunteers in Lake Macquarie will be getting their hands dirty next month as part of the CityServe project. CityServe launched in 2012 as a joint initiative between local churches, businesses and council, and lets volunteers connect with projects needing work in the community. Mayor Jodie Harrison says the volunteer program has been running successfully for the past 2 years.
CityServe came to council asking whether they could help with any particular community projects, and council looked at what we were currently committed to doing and looked at projects that we weren't going to be able to do within the next 12 months, and CityServe were able to help out with some of those projects.
Now with sport, Belinda Delaceres.
The Newcastle Knights New South Wales Cup side is preparing for a grand final berth against Penrith following their 34-10 victory over the Illawarra Cutters. But the momentum didn't carry through to Newcastle's National Youth Cup squad, going down to the Warriors 23-16 in the semis. Western Suburbs have become only the 6th real NRL side to secure 3 straight premierships after defeating Cessnock 22-8 in yesterday's grand final. Coach Craig Miller says it's about sticking to the game plan.
We just went out there and played like we were supposed to play in grand finals. It may not have been pretty, but it's clinical and it works. And our online defence, and we work hard on that and working for each other. And they're just the little things that you need to do to win big games.
The Rosellas dominated in 3 out of 4 grades, beating Central 28-22 in reserves and disposing of the Pickers 16-8 in the under-18s. And the Newcastle Jets have kicked off their pre-season with a 0-0 draw against the Mariners in their friendly at Mudgee. That's sport. I'm Belinda Delaceres.
2NURFM News Time 26 to 9.